All right, so I came back here. I got a little bit of free time today. I'm going to start this video of getting this running. I'm doing some work. I'm going to go tomorrow and try to get some parts for the clutch assembly. So what I decided to do is I went up and got the box off the shelf of the parts. The heat shields are there, the heads. Here was the broken disc in here, along with miscellaneous bolts. I did pull the battery. 2005 was the date on the battery, so it's been at least 20 years. So what I'm starting to do is I'm going to put the heads on this engine that's in here first, because this was the one that was not as scored as bad as the last one. So I'm going to throw the heads on here, and I'm just going to tinker with this engine before I pull it out. And I'm going to try to get it running just to see if there's internal problems with it. I can't remember, and if it doesn't smoke real bad or anything, I might just keep it as a spare engine, or you never know, I might find another 582 and want an original engine for it. So I just want to see, first of all, what I'm dealing with, if this engine might even be worth keeping for another tractor, possibly, or if I want to start pulling parts off of it. So I'm going to try to get this one running, and then eventually we'll get the engine out and get the clutch fixed and see if we can get this moving. All right, so I'm going to show you guys bits and pieces as I go through here and do this, but what I love about the Cub Cadets is how easy these are to work on. I am going to remove the fuel tank. Just undo these couple nuts right here. This piece comes out fairly easy, and then I'll just have to remove the fuel line, and this whole fuel tank will pull right up out of here, and then that'll give us access to remove the firewall and stuff like that. Now, I was gonna leave this tank on, but like I suspected, I figured it was gonna be dirty. I pulled it out. There was still fuel in this. So this fuel is old, well over 15 years old, and I was hoping that the fuel would have been shut off down here, but it looks like the petcock's frozen, and it looks like it's in the open position because I was trying to remove the fuel line at the filter. So the plan is now I'm just going to cut the fuel line and try to drain all the old gas, since I can't close it, into this container, remove the fuel tank, and then I got a makeshift fuel tank, just a plastic fuel tank I had bought, and I use it just for working on things, trying to bench test engines, or if I needed a clean tank to hook up to test. So I'm going to get this tank and everything removed, the other tank on, and then we'll see if we can get this running. I got that older piece of the fuel line out. The rest of the gas is draining out of here. Then I can clean this tank out real good before I put it back in. But this is the smell of this gas, how disgusting it is. That's why I'd much rather work with diesel fuel than gasoline, getting that stuff on everything. It's pretty gross. I pulled the air cleaner out and everything. Surprisingly, the air cleaner looks pretty good on this, but I did want to show this, how this pre-cleaner is just falling apart. Tell you how old that is. It just turns to dust. So, all right, so I had to go and get some more fuel line. I put on my temporary tank here, but the old fuel line from the tractor, the fuel filter was cracked, so it kept leaking gas out of it. I was going to put a different fuel filter on it, but the line's so old and cracked, it still kept leaking. So I had some new line, and I just temporarily, I took all the housing off from the air cleaner to run the line to make it easier to get that one off. So I got the temporary tank on here. Now I did throw the battery in here. I hooked up a battery, and I sprayed just a little carbon choke cleaner in it as I was working, just to sort of let the carbs sit. And this is what I love about this old stuff. It actually fired right up. So now that I got the fuel leak fixed, I'm going to go ahead and set up. We're going to try to get it running here and see actually how well this thing runs. All right, it does run. It doesn't run very good. Ideally, I should have took the carburetor off and cleaned it, but I couldn't remember. I thought this engine was the one of them that had internal damage to it, but like I said, I've owned so many 582s now through the years, I can't keep track. I turned it over with a wrench just to make sure before I tried starting it, and didn't seem odd no ways, so I figured I'd go ahead and at least try to see if it ran. So now I'm in a dilemma. This engine runs, so I don't know what to do. I know it has a little bit of a scored cylinder, but it doesn't look to be smoking too bad, unless that's just overfueling. So now I got to decide if I want to put the other engine in this or not, even to try to mess with that one, which I probably will, regardless. But I am going to work on this one a little more before I do that, and at least now I know there's no point in scrapping this engine. I can either keep it for a spare, because these older Briggs are getting hard to find, or I can just sell it to somebody that wants an original engine for a deal. I don't know really what it's worth, but anyways, at least that's what I got to deal with now. I'm going to try to go tomorrow and get some clutch parts for this, so at least when I remove this engine, I can start fixing the clutch as we do it. There's going to be more videos to come on this. This one was just getting this engine running, so I'm going to continue showing the engine swap and fixing the clutch as we do this project. If you hadn't, go ahead and subscribe if you like this kind of content. Thanks for watching.